Welcome back, everybody, to the Magic Cube podcast. And today we're doing something a little bit different because I'm flying solo. Unfortunately, Logan has come down with a case of the laryngitis and he is unable to perform today. But that's not going to stop us because we are here. D23 2026 is here. And if you're a Disney Parks fan, this is basically our version of the NFL draft. We spent months speculating, we convince ourselves, we figured out what's going to happen. Somebody posted a blurry picture on the internet, and suddenly we're analyzing it like the Zapruder film. And then Disney gets on stage and either completely blows us away or they show us a piece of a concept art and say, more details coming soon. So, with the Disney Parks announcement coming up tomorrow, I want to get my wish list officially on the record. These aren't necessarily predictions. Some of them I think could actually happen. Some of them probably have absolutely no chance of happening. But these are the 5 things I personally want to see Disney announce. And there's kind of a theme to my list. I'm not asking Disney to build another Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not asking them to slap another IP onto something just because there's a movie coming out. A lot of what I want is actually pretty simple. Look at what we've already got. Fix what's broken. Fix what feels unfinished, and maybe, just maybe, give Imagineering the opportunity to create something completely original. So let's get into it. These are my top 5 things I want from the Disney parks at D23.
There's magic waiting just around the bend, where every ride's a story and the memories never end. From Main Street lights and castles coming to view, grab your ears and come along. We're waiting in the Magic Cube.
Welcome back in. Here we go. Number 5. Do something with Mission Space. Let's start at Epcot. Mission Space. I don't necessarily hate Mission Space. Y'all know my story with it and why I do not like it. From the soft opening that I went on with my dad back in the day, and it made me so sick, it completely ruined my entire rest of the day at Epcot, and it was our last day. Like, we went back to our room, loaded up, and went into town to spend the night before heading back to Texas the next day. And I know there are people who really enjoy this attraction, but every time I walk through that part of Epcot, I can't help feeling like this massive piece of real estate could do something much better. When you compare it to what was there before, it's a pretty big miss. Mission Space opened in 2003. At the time, it was supposed to represent the next generation of Epcot attractions. And technologically, the ride system is impressive. You're essentially sitting inside a giant centrifuge. The orange mission creates actual G-forces. It is absolutely a unique ride experience that I would recommend if you don't get motion sick. The problem is, I'm not sure it's a particularly Disney experience. And more importantly, I'm not sure it represents what Epcot should be anymore. Epcot has changed dramatically around it. Test Track has changed, Guardians of the Galaxy has arrived, World Celebration has completely transformed the center of the park, and then Mission Space is still sitting there looking and feeling like something from the early 2000s. I think it's time. I'm not even necessarily saying tear the building down. The ride system is incredibly unique. So what could Imagineering do if you gave them that ride system and said, start over? Maybe it's still about space exploration. Maybe you take advantage of Disney's relationship with NASA. Maybe you create an entirely new original story. Or, yes, Disney being Disney, maybe there's an IP that actually makes sense here. But whatever they do, I want something that makes me excited to walk toward that side of Epcot again. Because right now, Mission Space is one of those attractions where I can walk past it and think, maybe next time, but probably not. And usually next time will never come. So number 5 on my D23 wish list, retheme Mission Space. Keep the technology if you want, keep the concept of space exploration if you want, but give the attraction a new reason to exist. Number 4, bring the PeopleMover back to Disneyland. So I am more of a Walt Disney World fan, as y'all know. I have been to Disneyland within the last few years, and I had seen stuff leading up to going about how bad the track looks at the park. And it does not do it justice other than being there in person and seeing how absolutely terrible it is. And this may be the biggest pipe dream on my entire list. Just anything, please. For anyone who has never been to Disneyland and doesn't know or understand what I'm talking about, there's essentially a monument to a dead attraction running through Tomorrowland. The People Mover closed in 1995. Then Disney tried replacing it with rocket rods, which opened in 1998. And by 2000, that was basically done too. They did not figure in the amount of speed that rocket rods was going to be using, and it completely tore up the track that was there. And more than 25 years later, that infrastructure is still just sitting there like a skeleton. You walk through Tomorrowland and you can literally see the old track. And that's what's frustrating because the People Mover is exactly the type of attraction Disney parks need more of. It doesn't need a 40-inch height requirement. Grandparents can ride it, kids can ride it, families can ride together. It gives you kinetic energy through the land. It eats people, and sometimes it's just nice to sit down for 15 minutes and enjoy being inside a Disney park. Look at Disney World. The Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover isn't some billion-dollar e-ticket attraction, but people love it. I love it. It's one of those attractions that just feels like Disney World. Meanwhile, Disneyland has the bones of its People Mover sitting right there. Now, I understand there are engineering problems. The track wasn't designed for rocket rods, like I said. There are accessibility requirements today that didn't exist when the original attraction was built. Like, I'm not pretending Disney can just roll out some new trains on there tomorrow morning. But you're telling me Walt Disney Imagineering can build Rise of the Resistance? They can build a roller coaster where the ride vehicles detach from the track? They can build an entire floating city on a cruise ship? They can't figure out a people mover? Come on. Maybe the answer isn't the traditional people mover. Maybe it's a completely new attraction system using portions of the existing route. Fine, I'm open to it. I just want Disney to finally look at the abandoned track and say, we're doing something with this because Tomorrowland deserves it. Number 3, expand World Showcase and give us something original. So we're going to jump back over to Epcot, and this one really is kind of two wishes rolled into one. I want another country added to World Showcase. And I want an original attraction somewhere in World Showcase, preferably both at the same time. We have so many stories of the abandoned showcase that could just be pushed back forward. It's one of the greatest concepts Disney ever created. You can walk from Mexico to Norway, China, Germany, Italy, America, Japan, Morocco, France, UK, and Canada in one afternoon. And somehow we have gone decades without adding another permanent country pavilion. And somehow we have gone decades without adding another permanent country pavilion. Think about how crazy that is. There are so many possibilities. Brazil, India, Australia, Greece, Egypt, South Korea, Spain. There are cultures, architecture, food, music, and mythology from around the world that Imagineering could use to create something incredible. And here's the other part of this one that's important to me. I want an original ride. Not everything has to be based on a movie. Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't based on a movie. Haunted Mansion wasn't based on a movie. Space Mountain wasn't based on a movie. Big Thunder Mountain wasn't based on a movie. And Figment wasn't based on a movie. Some of the most iconic attractions came from Imagineers being told, here's an idea, go create something. So imagine Disney announces a new World So imagine Disney announces a new World Showcase Pavilion, and instead of saying, and inside you'll experience an attraction based on our latest animated movie, they say, Walt Disney Imagineering has created an entirely original attraction inspired by the history, folklore, and culture of this country. That would get my attention. Give me something I've never seen before. Give me characters that only exist inside Epcot. Give kids something they discover at Disney World and then become obsessed with. That's how Figment happened. That's how park mythology gets created. World Showcase shouldn't be a collection of restaurants and IP attractions. It should still be about discovery. And adding another country with an original attraction would be one of the biggest statements Disney could possibly make about the future of Epcot. Number 2, we're getting there. Connect Star Wars to Galaxy's Edge. This one has bothered me basically since Galaxy's Edge opened. Disney has one of the greatest Star Wars attractions ever created, Star Tours. And then they built an entire Star Wars land somewhere else in the park. At Hollywood Studios, you leave Star Tours, walk back into regular Hollywood Studios, pass another attraction and theming, and eventually arrive at Galaxy's Edge. Storytelling wise, it feels disconnected. Either way you go on one side, you're going through Toy Story Land to get to Galaxy's Edge, coming through Galaxy's Edge towards the new Monstropolis, whatever the hell they're calling it, to get to Star Tours. There's something in between them. I think Disney has an opportunity to fix it, connect Star Wars to Galaxy's Edge. And I don't mean put a sign that says Galaxy's Edge this way. I want an experience. Imagine boarding Star Tours like normal. C3PO accidentally becomes your pilot, something goes wrong, you jump to hyperspace, and instead of ending the attraction and dumping you back into Hollywood Studios and another gift shop, your Starspeeder arrives on Batuu. You walk off the attraction and you're inside Galaxy's Edge. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome. Star Tours literally becomes your transportation into the land. Suddenly, the separation between the original Star Wars attraction and Galaxy's Edge isn't a weakness, it's a part of the story. You're not walking from one section of Hollywood Studios into another. You're leaving Earth and traveling to Batuu. Obviously, there would be a massive logistical challenge. You'd have to figure out capacity, you'd have to figure out emergency exits, you'd have to figure out guest enter and leave. I'm sure an Imagineer could give me 700 reasons this is more complicated than I'm making it sound. That's fine. That's why they're Imagineers, and I'm sitting here doing a podcast. Figure it out. Because Star Wars deserves to be part of Galaxy's Edge. And Galaxy's Edge would become even more immersive if your journey there actually began aboard a Starspeeder. Disney clearly isn't finishing tinkering with Star Wars in the parks. Take the next step. Make Star Tours the gateway to Galaxy's Edge that you hoped the hotel was going to be. All right, everybody, here we are, the number one. Y'all knew it was coming. If Disney announces only one thing from my list, this is it. Please, for the love of all things purple, fix Journey into Imagination. Figment has somehow become one of the most popular characters at Epcot while starring in one of the most underwhelming attractions in the park. Think about that. Disney sells Figment merchandise everywhere. He's essentially the unofficial mascot of Epcot. Disney still heavily features him during Festival of the Arts. People love Figment. And then you go ride Journey into Imagination with Figment and think, this is what we're doing with this character? For anybody who experienced the original Journey into Imagination, you know what this pavilion used to represent. Dreamfinder, Figment, the Dreamport, creativity, ideas, art, music, imagination. It wasn't based on a movie. It wasn't trying to sell you the newest Disney franchise. It was pure Imagineering thanks to Tony Baxter. And that's exactly why people still talk about it. I'm not saying Disney has to rebuild the 1983 attraction bolt for bolt. Actually, I don't want them to. Take what made the original special and build the attraction that Imagineering can create today. Bring Dreamfinder back. Keep Figment front and center. Bring back the spirit of the Dreamport. Use modern audio animatronics, projection mapping, trackless ride vehicles if that makes sense, practical sets, music, color. Make the entire thing feel like you're traveling through someone's imagination. And please, give us an attraction worthy of that pavilion again. Because here's the thing. Disney doesn't even have to convince people to care about Figment. We already care. That's the hardest part. You already have the character. You already have the nostalgia. You already have the merchandise. You already have the generation of Disney fans begging you to do this. All you have to do is give Figment the attraction he deserves. And if Josh D'Amaro gets on the stage at D23, the lights go dark, and suddenly we hear the opening note of that familiar Imagination song, the building's gonna explode. That's my D23 moment. That's the announcement I'm waiting for. A completely reimagined Journey into Imagination. Figment, Dreamfinder, an attraction that once again makes imagination the entire point. That's number one, and it's not particularly close. So there they are, my 5. Retheme Mission Space, do something, anything with the Disneyland PeopleMover, add another country to World Showcase, and give Imagineering the opportunity to create an original attraction. Find a way to connect Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to Star Tours. And of course, the biggest thing that I think is with every Walt Disney World fan, fix Journey into Imagination and finally give Figment the attraction he deserves. Will Disney announce all 5? Absolutely not. Will they announce one? I hope so. But more than anything, what I want to see from D23 is Disney showing us that they're willing to invest in the things that make Disney parks different. Not just franchises, not just whatever movie happens to be popular right now. Ideas, original attractions, kinetic energy, transportation, world building. Characters created specifically for the parks and attractions that generations of families can experience together. Because that's what made these parks special in the first place. And now, I want to hear from you. If Disney could announce one thing at D23 this weekend, what would it be? And don't give me what you think they're already going to announce. I want to hear your completely selfish Disney parks wish. Drop in the comments, send it to us on social media. And after the Disney Experiences presentation, we're going to come back and see just how right or how incredibly wrong I was. We may be live streaming during the presentation. It will be Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central, I believe. So keep your eye out for the channel. I may live stream while they're doing the announcements. Not 100% sure yet. Got a busy day tomorrow. I'm Art. This has been the Magic Cube Podcast. Thanks for waiting in line with me, and I'll see you in the queue.